The Kongs made it past Baz's blockade and back onto dry land. Dry being relative here, because to progress through the world of Cotton Top Cove, they're gonna have to go up the side of a waterfall. This is part 14 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 3. Turns out I was actually onto something with that tourism angle in the last video. According to Nintendo Power and the Player's Guide, Cotton Top Cove is actually a tourist destination. I swear I didn't know that before I wrote it. Something else I forgot to mention last episode is the hidden banana bird cave by the entrance. Bounty Bay can be found to the right of where the waterfall hits the pool. It's the 5th cave by my count, so it shouldn't be too tricky. Rocket Barrel Ride is our first look at the waterfall tile set, maybe the best one in the game. I feel like I've fallen into the habit of making big calls like that on the fly, but in this case, I think I could be right. It's between the waterfalls, the riverside, and the cliffs for me. I do love the industrial and pipeline themes, but we're getting off track. Rocket Barrel Ride is a vertical level that sees you traversing the waterfalls via the rocket barrels. To me, the waterfalls are the coolest part of the level, especially how you can sometimes go behind them. But in terms of gameplay, the rocket barrels are where it's at. They're in the name, and they dominate the level. They're new to DKC3 and function like blast barrels, but fly up a short ways before shooting out the Kongs. The first few barrels aren't much to write home about, but pretty soon you're making some pretty precise leaps from barrel to barrel, passing over green buzzers, both moving and stationary. I never thought this was particularly hard, but it's hard enough and frustrating enough when you fall all the way down to the previous level that you're going to want to put a little effort in. As mentioned earlier, the level sees you going in front of and behind waterfalls, with a real clever use of those two parallel paths being against Koin at the end of the level. The barrels take a bit of a backseat in the second half, and it becomes more about jumping through or over buzzers as you make your way up the side of the waterfall. This is the highlight of the level for me. It's a nice change of pace. Parry shows up, but aside from making the level more frustrating, he doesn't contribute to the experience at all. It's quite a big level, but it doesn't always feel that way. One thing I really dig about Cotton Top Cove is how, while the level-to-level narrative is non-existent, we do get an interesting look at the environment. We start off in the water, and in this level, move up the waterfall that fills the basin, then finally arrive at the water source itself in the 3rd level. The next 2 levels mirror the first 2, with it going waterfall, then coral levels instead of the other way around, essentially heading back down the falls, even though the other waterfall level progresses upward as well. Whatever, it's not a perfect one-to-one, but it's close enough. Before I go, I want to share something with you all. This is a super weird memory, and you can totally judge me as harsh as you want. I don't care. But for some reason, a memory of this level is permanently burned into my brain. I was living in a share house in my early 20s. I got home after a night out, was so drunk I could barely see the screen, and I'm playing this level while listening to Tegan and Sarah's Heartthrob. Of all the things I've experienced, of all the important things I've forgotten, and yet my brain holds on to that moment. Why? Alright, that's it. See ya.